Well, hello and welcome to your first video lesson in DreamWeaver. Today in MOXIE, we are going to need to organize a few of our files, and then hopefully we will move on to hotspots and a few other new things. So the big deal today is naming, organization, and then in some later videos, linking things. So the other day, we set up our MOXIE folder. It's over here in our Files panel. And then we broke up all of those 90-some images and HTML files and random other things into these 4 folders. Images, pages, portfolio images, and resources. And this one might actually be called photos. Oh, it was images. Sorry. I couldn't remember what we did in class. And then this one was just portfolio. In images was just kind of the random pictures that was on all the pages, all your banners and the different GIFs. Pages was everything that was an HTML file. These we can all open up in DreamWeaver and see. Portfolio images was basically every JPEG, and we are going to name all these so they actually make sense to us here in a second. And then resources was just kind of a random grouping of everything else. So what I need you to get into is portfolio images. Now in our portfolio, if I was to open that web page up, we have 4 sections, 4 subcategories of our portfolio. We have jewelry, fashion, food, and music. So we are going to make some subfolders inside portfolio for those 4 categories. So I'm going to right click, create a new folder, jewelry, fashion, food, and music. Now you'll notice that all these folders are in line, hopefully, with your JPEG images right here. That means it's a part of the portfolio images folder. So that's where they need to be, in that folder. So what we need to do next is drag and drop some things. Before I do that, I'm going to drag out my Files panel here so I can actually see what in the world I'm doing. And then if you haven't yet, open up the names or the file, the local files column right here. That's your name, so you can actually see your names. Super teeny tiny like this, there's no way you're going to know what you're working on. Okay, so we have a bunch of files with a bunch of random names that really doesn't mean much to us. But if you notice, there's chunks of them that all start with the same grouping of letters. CJ, FC, FO, and MI. The CJ stands for costume jewelry. So if you can do a shift click and grab everything that starts with a CJ, you can then drag it down or up, wherever your folder is, and drop it in that jewelry folder. And of course, we always update. FC, that's fashion. FC was fashion. I'm just closing this folder so they're out of my way. FO, if you haven't figured it out yet, is food. Drop it in that folder and update. And last but not least, MI is music. There we go. That makes all of those crazy files look a little more organized. Now these port underscore files right here, these are just your banners up top. Don't worry about those right now. Let's go look at jewelry. We are going to rename all of these files so they actually make sense to us. But so we know which file we're working on and that we're naming the correct thing, what I would like for you to do is come down to your Finder, your little smiley face guy, and find your MOXIE folder. Now I already have mine pulled up right here. So go find MOXIE. Then you're going to get into your portfolio images folder. And you should notice, hey, everything's all organized now. All those folders we just made have been created. Of course, I'm going to go into jewelry. Now you're going to want to set yours up so you can actually see your icons. I'm on a Dell computer, so I can actually record this, so of course my screen looks a little different. But you're going to want to see which file name corresponds with which picture. Now please, please, please do not, I'm drawing a big X here, do not rename here in your Finder. You cannot do that. It will break all of your links, and then you have to go back and relink all of them, and you're going to hate your life. Please do all of your naming inside DreamWeaver. Just like when we move files around, it will update it for us. Please rename in DreamWeaver. We're going to give these a more meaningful name to us that's also shorter, because it just drives me crazy when it's numbers. So let's start with this first picture right here of this big tacky necklace. CJ means costume jewelry. The LG means large. There are 3 sizes of each picture. There's a large, a medium, and a small. These correspond back into DreamWeaver. If I was to open up maybe page 1. It'll drag back. There we go. To these photos. So these are our medium photos. These are our small photos and our large photos. So these little thumbnails are the small ones, medium ones, and then the large ones are the actual gallery image. So we are going to rename those accordingly. So this is CJ Costume Jewelry. We're in that folder. LG stands for large. What I'm looking for is this little grouping of numbers at the end. I'm looking for 03. So 39003. I'm just going to look for the last 3 numbers, 03. So I'm going to come back over here to jewelry, and hey, look, right there it is. 03. I'm looking for large 03. Large 03. And I'm going to rename that gold, because it's a big gold necklace. Gold dash L for large, just like you're trying on t-shirts. And of course, update. So I have just renamed that file over here in DreamWeaver gold large, and hey look, it went ahead and named it over here in my folder for me as well. Please notice I kept the JPEG on there. I did not delete that. The only thing I changed was the front name. I left the extension alone. If you delete JPEG, it's not going to know what it is. It doesn't know if it's a web page, or is it a movie, is it a sound. You have to leave that on there. Now, I'm going to leave page 1 open, pardon that. And my image didn't break. It didn't turn gray with that kind of torn in half paper symbol on it, so I know I did it correctly. Excuse me, this is the medium picture. On page 2, though, if it didn't break, we're good. So now I need the medium version of this image. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm looking for medium 03. Boom, right there it is. Medium 03. So this is the same image, so it's going to be called gold, but it's going to be a medium. Gold medium. And of course, update. So we have large, we have small, or medium. Last one we need is small. So small SN 03 is going to be now called gold small. And update. It's going to update on a bunch of pages. So we are slowly but surely making these pictures make more sense. The next grouping of pictures we're going to do is this red necklace. I like to work in order here. And this red necklace is going to be large, medium, and small, 20. So we're looking for large, medium, and small, 20. And that should just be next one in line. Yours might be ordered a little different by name since you are on the Mac computers. I'm going to call the red necklaces red. And then, of course, the size, large. Red large. Look for 20 again. This one's going to be medium. And there's 20 red small. As long as nothing's going crazy over here, we're doing all right. If you start to see images break right off the bat, let me know so then I can come over here and help you. Just because you're following a video tutorial online doesn't mean that I can't help. All right, next one. We're going to do these watches. So this one ends with the number 33. So large 33. I'll call this one watch. Large. 33 medium. Watch. Medium. And last watch. Oops, I double clicked on it. It's going to open in Photoshop. There it goes. Watch. See if I can beat it. Small. So we had gold, red, watch. Last one is cuff. So cuff large. Oh, there goes my Photoshop. It's really slow on my Dell computer too. It'll go away. There it goes. Cuff large, cuff medium, cuff small. Now this makes a lot more sense. And if I organize this by name, it's going to group them by photo type. So all the watches that are together, all the golds are together. So we are going to do that exact same thing for music, food, and fashion. Go ahead and hide that guy. I'm going to close page 1. And I'm going to open up page 6 now. So I'm going to move on to the fashion section here. So in my Finder, I'm going to move to my fashion folder. And we have a selection of women's wear here that's a little outdated. We've got some serious mom jeans going on and pants that go up to your ribs with no pockets on the back, which always makes your butt look better. We have a lady playing tennis and some business wear. So what I am going to call these photos is this lady right here is going to be casual. She will be black. I couldn't think of a better name, but she's got these really awful black pants on, so we're going to call her black. This one will be tennis. And this last photo will be business. So your job to do next is to come through all of these images, just like we did in jewelry, and you're going to name them accordingly. Casual, black, business, or tennis. Be sure to leave the JPEG on there, and then be sure to name it either large, medium, or small also. Okay guys, sorry about that. I paused this video so I could come back and I could name all these files in the music, jewelry, food, and fashions folders. So as you can see here, I've got them all named, and they all have small, medium, or large also attached to them. And I still have that JPEG extension on there. Now for you, you're not going to be able to see all these names probably due to size. So what I'm going to do is I am going to minimize these. And I'm going to minimize DreamWeaver. And I have 3 of my 4 folders open just in my Finder. Here's fashion, food, and music. So now you can see the thumbnails that I've used and the names that I've corresponded with them. So you're going to have to look back at your stuff, see what the file name is, and then come back into DreamWeaver to rename them. Please, you have to name them in DreamWeaver. If you rename them in here, you're going to break every single picture link, and you don't want to do that. It's going to be a huge ordeal to fix, and I will make you fix it. So if you're having a hard time seeing, here are the file names. And if you'd like to pause this video right now so you could come back through and double check with the picture and your files, that'd be great. But again, over here in fashion, the lady in the black pants, I'm calling black. And the business suit is business. Tennis player is obviously tennis. And then the lady in the jeans is casual. In food, muffins are called muffins. The picture of fruits and vegetables is produce. The fish on ice is seafood. And the food display is sushi. And our last folder, which is music, we have a fake female artist named Jaden. This group of men here is called Stratosphere, but I'm just calling it Space for short since they're dressed up like astronauts. The Black Honkies, which is like the name, I'm just abbreviating as TBH. And then this gentleman right here, Tremaine, I have his name. Again, small, medium, large on everything. And please name them in DreamWeaver, DreamWeaver, DreamWeaver. All right, I'm going to minimize this, get it set up. So if you'd like to pause your screen now, that would be a good time.